y'all, I'm Elisa, the Scrappy Wife behind ScrappyWife.com, and today I have a plan with me process for you. I am working in my memory planner this week, and I will be doing this for the week of April 12th. I have my paper person kit pulled here that I'm planning on using for this week, and a ton of pictures. So we'll see how many actually make it onto the pages. I will definitely link everything that I use down below. Otherwise, let's go. All right, once I take the pages out of my memory planner and get them set, I'm going to start going through my paper person file. So these are the 12 by 12 storage folders that I use for all of the different collections, and all my paper person collections are in here, and it's getting pretty full, and I needed to take a minute just to see what I had. And so this is the collection from the month of March, I believe, and I only used it once so far, and I just love it. It's so bright. Rainbows, you know, I'm all about the rainbows. All right, so I had this huge pile of photos, and I'm kind of placing them. I'm doing my best to get them on the days, but to be honest, I took a bunch of photos over the weekend, and so it's hard to get them all on the correct days, and you'll see I'll have a few that get moved around. The extra photos that I have, I will put into my monthly spread in my memory planner. So every month I do a picture a day, and I pop them out. I'll have to show you in a different video, but I pop them out and put them in the memory in the monthly spread. And so those photos definitely will not go to waste. One thing I love about Paper Person products is that they create these journaling cards. And of course, I think these are originally intended for Project Life, and that's not something I do. So I use them in other ways, but I use them in my journaling and in my memory planning because they have journaling cards that kind of inspire you to take in the details of different parts of your day. So I never thought about recording the details of my coffee, but I have this journaling card, so I'll be able to do that. And truthfully, coffee is a big part of my day. It's how I start every day. It's one of those things that has evolved since I've been an adult and had more and more coffee in my life. And I think it's just sweet that I'll be able to document that in this memory planner. And they have all kinds of journaling cards. They had the anatomy of your favorite sandwich one time. They have some that document current events where you can record your feelings about what is happening. I really like how they include those, and it helps me remember not just to document the who, what, where, and how, but really to get into some of the little details, the little stories that I want to be able to pass down someday. As usual, I am using some scrapbook paper to cover up the long sidebar over there on the left-hand side. I chose a pretty neutral one because I knew I was going to have some pretty bold colors. Whenever I am using full-on journaling cards, those take up a lot of room on the page and they bring in a lot of color. So I went neutral over there. And then I had this strip of florals on the bottom, and I loved that the floral paper had these circles that were also on that neutral paper, so they coordinate just so perfectly. So I actually cut an additional strip of that out, and I'm going to add the floral at the bottom. And what I think it does is really anchor the spread. It with that darker color at the bottom provides this nice grounding effect, which I really like. So I'm going to add it to both sides. It brings both spreads together. As you know, I kind of follow the general rule. If I do something on one side, I do like to incorporate it somehow on the other side, just so that it is related throughout the week. In your memory planning, you can take any kind of angle that you want. I know a lot of people will just do their favorite supplies or keep it really themed. So for instance, if I was recording those baseball games, you see the pictures of my boys at their baseball game, I would use only baseball stuff. Or maybe they do like a rainbow theme, or they just pick supplies they love. And whatever works for you, there is no right or wrong way to document, to do your memory planning. Do what works for you, what brings you joy as you are looking back over these pages. For me, I like mixing it up. I love just using beautiful supplies. I love getting to try new companies and try out their supplies. And sometimes I'll do a theme. Generally, I don't do super detailed themes. I just like to kind of encompass the whole week because I don't change out my photos as far as editing them and their coloring. So I'll end up with like a million different colors going on the page, a million different themes. And so I just do what kind of brings me joy at that time. And for this week, it's this paper person. I am stepping out of my comfort zone and adding in some chipboard. Now, this is against my better judgment because chipboard, of course, adds dimension into your album, and my memory planner is already getting pretty thick. But what I have kind of discovered so far is that really my memory planner can hold anywhere from 4 to 6 months, depending on what I've done. And after that, even with the expander discs, it's going to get pretty thick. And so I have already taken out the first few months of my memory planner, and I will probably just continue to do so and kind of create separate albums for those. I did take out the pages that I started in 2020. I think I started this in October 2020. I'll have to go back and look at that album, but I just created my own cover and keep that in a separate one. And I'll let me know below if you want to see how that album turned out. And my thought was, even with some dimension every now and then, I'll have to take these out. And so I will just continue to make albums that are anywhere from 4 to 6 months long. And then in the front, I just label what those months are. And then I'll just keep them like that, and we'll see how this goes. So I do tend to change how I like to document. I've gone from traveler's notebooks, kind of classic scrapbooking, and now I'm loving this memory planning. And so I'm just going to keep with it, and we'll see how big these albums get, how crazy it gets, and then kind of go from there. Okay, as I was talking, you can see that I'm starting to put all of my pictures down on the page, and then I'm going to come back to the chipboard. So the theme of this chipboard, a lot of these chipboard pieces was like a morning routine. A lot of them had morning phrases. So I have one that says, definitely not a morning person, over there on a picture of my kids and I picking up donuts on a Friday morning for a little pick-me-up. I have one that says, I hate Mondays, where you see my son fell asleep in his bed in the afternoon. Have a nice day. I woke up like this, the little coffee. I love the theme. And even though these are not all morning pictures, I still think it does a good job of kind of encompassing what our weekly life is like. And of course, morning routine is a big part of it. All right, now I have pulled out the stamp set. The paper person stamps are so cute, and this one is adorable. So it's a little minivan, and I'm stamping it in gray first, and then it has the outline of the van that I'll come back and do in black. It's kind of hard to do the stamping without my head getting in the way, so I apologize if I kind of jump in here. It ends up slightly off center, but I'm doing my best to stamp and not get in the way of the camera. So I'm able to stamp our little silver minivan there to kind of represent the comings and goings of the end of the week with practices and games, and we are in full sports mode over here. Lots and lots going on. Now I have the cute stamp that says Weekend Food Warrior, which kind of summarizes how my husband and I feel about the weekends. We love, love, love. We are total foodies. And so on the weekends, we kind of let go and we order out and we enjoy some delicious food. And we also had some fun gatherings with neighbors that also revolved around delicious food. So it was nice to kind of include that there. And I'm really trying to focus on using my stamps in my memory planning. These are just so adorable from Paper Person that I just don't want to forget to use them. I'm picking one over here that says spending time around the house, which worked out well because at the beginning of the week, even though we had doctor's appointments on Monday, we spent a lot of time around the house because I had a lot of cranky kids last week. So we didn't feel the need to go anywhere because they were not in the mood for that. At the top of the page, I am going to add some more stamping. Oh, but first I forgot one more stamp. This one says getting work done, and I'm actually adding it to the scrapbook paper that I used over on the right side. And I will just trim out this piece and attach it to the photo that's all the way over on the right. And that's a picture of my husband and I's Sunday night planning meeting, which we generally do every Sunday. We have all our planners out. I took it because I thought it was hilarious that my side was full of color and stickers and his side is a laptop and a planner, and that's it. Okay, so now I'm gonna focus on the top and I'm gonna use a little home stamp. So this one is actually meant to go as a layered stamp in the spending time around the house stamp that I already used, but I thought it would be so adorable to do these little yellow houses to bring that yellow up to the top of the page. And then I will just write in the dates there at the top with a black flare pen. I've been loving adding that detail. So I am planning on buying a new big happy planner that's already dated for, and that will start in July 2021. So I don't have to add the dates, but I think it'll still be fun to kind of add some stamping and some details up at the top. All right, as you guys know, the last thing I generally do is add in lines for journaling. I like to have the lines there to write out how I feel about the week, how everything went, some little detail stories. I don't write absolutely everything that happens in the week. Sometimes I have a story that I want to tell and I make sure to get that down. But I like that the pictures kind of encompass how our week went and then the words kind of go into detail a little bit more. All right, before I go off camera to do journaling, I'm going to take a little bit of time and fill in my little coffee card over here with all of my typical coffee preferences, just for recollection's sake. And then I will go off camera, do the journaling, and come back and show you the finished product. All right, so it is all done. I did have to use my We Are Memory Keepers disc punch to punch out where I put the paper right here, but I can just pop it back into the discs and it is ready to go. Thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification button. I have linked all of the supplies down below so you can check those out if you are interested. A special shout out to my YouTube members. Thank you so much for all of your support and encouragement. If you are interested in becoming a YouTube member and finding out the extra perks that they receive, make sure to click that join button. All right, I hope that you have a fabulous day, and as always, keep it creative.